We just got them delivered to the office. These are fabulous. They've got soft touch, and they look and feel great. We will have magazines delivered to the office a little bit later today. I think around 12:30. 12:30 we'll have Agent Inc. magazines. So lots of fun stuff happening today. We have an insurance lead prize to talk about this morning. And I think it's printed out on the back of your information. Is Kevin Hernandez here today? Kevin's not here? For those of you who don't know Kevin, he runs our insurance company, and he's really, really good. How many of you guys have used Kevin to insure one of your properties? He gets you a quote in about 2 minutes, and it's usually the best quote anybody can find, and he binds with the best companies out there. And so you want to always remember to use Kevin when you're putting something in escrow. But this is a little contest that says the agent who sends Kevin the most referrals in a quarter gets to go out in my Maybach with my driver, have dinner on me at the dock, which is my favorite restaurant in Orange County, and you get to use my Duffy to float around the bay. So this is an experience that I really want for you, and so do please think of Kevin.
Hey, John.
Yes.
Do I get a +1?
Yes, +1, yes. Yes, I want you to bring your +1, yes.
In speaking about Kevin, he actually does auto insurance too, and I cannot believe the amount of money he saved me personally on auto insurance. It's almost shameful.
It doesn't even take 15 minutes.
No.
Right?
No.
You got Geico.
Right? No, Geico. I had Geico, and he switched me, and I saved like $800 a year.
So we have lots of exciting things happening this week. I'm actually headed to Cabo San Lucas tomorrow morning, and I'm on the advisory board of Concierge Auctions. Who knows about Concierge Auctions? You guys follow them? They did $2 billion in auction sales. They're doing auctions globally. The owner's a really good friend of mine, and I've made a lot of money with auctions and just bidding and doing all kinds of stuff. So tune in to Concierge Auctions. We did an article about them in our last M magazine. But it's worth paying attention to. And Barbara Corcoran's on the board of Concierge, so I get to go hang out with her at the Montage in Cabo for a couple days and see if I can add any wisdom to what they're doing. And then I extended my stay a few days to play around the pool with Emerson. So we're taking Emerson. So that leaves, the reason I share that with you is because if you have any agents, Barbara has a couple friends in Cabo that are really top agents. We're starting Agent Inc. in Cabo. I'm serving, how many RSVPs do we have, Valerie?
45.
So I'm serving
47.
So on Friday, I'm serving 47 agents lunch at the Montage to do my spiel to pitch them on Agent Inc. So we'll get a team started down there. And John Fenton, one of my good friends, one of the biggest developers on the West Coast, he gave me 5 $30 million houses to sell and list in El Dorado. So we get to start with a bang. We're going to have some beautiful product in Cabo San Lucas. So exciting stuff. And so that leaves Scott McDonald here tomorrow, Wednesday,
down the fort.
Giving the pitch in the front room. And I have every confidence you'll do much better than me.
Well, that won't happen, but it will be a very enthusiastic telling of the story of how we got to this point and where we're going. And it is getting more exciting every day.
Well, I wish I could be a fly on the wall to see that. I know you're going to do really well. But
I'm going to talk about you a lot.
But remember, you make money at Agent Inc. by listing properties and selling them. You also make money by introducing people to the company. The easiest way to recruit people is to invite them to our Wednesday meeting at 4. We make it very easy. And Scott and Barbara, they'll close them tomorrow if you get them there.
45 minutes, starts with a glass of champagne, tell the story.
Yeah, it's not too painful. Yes. So, in speaking in that vein of thought, we're also going out, we're rolling out to the desert to serve lunch at the what's that street called? El Paseo?
El Paseo.
The Marriott at the new hotel in El Paseo.
Paseo
We're going to serve
Hotel.
lunch there the last Thursday of the month and do another lunch and pitch Agent Inc. So if you know agents in the desert, make sure you get our invitation to them too. So
I got one confirmation this morning for that lunch in the desert.
fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Awesome.
Good stuff. Now, in our last sales meeting, I told you that we were gonna start a journey called 40 Days of Farming. It's an educational product that I'm putting together. It's kind of based on my story of coming here with no resources and knowing no one, just a passion for the business and starting my career by farming Lido Isle and what I learned through that. Agents ask me all the time, every day, what do I do? Like, what should I be doing with my time? And so I'm putting this curriculum together to answer that question and to help each of you have the best year you've ever had in 2019 and continue that on and build and build and build on your brand, build on your business, build on your name. And so I'm really excited about 40 Days of Farming. Valerie's doing a great job of helping me with it. We didn't have enough of it packaged up today, so I punted. Not to use a Super Bowl term, but I punted it out for a couple weeks. But while we're on the conversation of farming, I thought I'd take the opportunity to try to make Russ turn red. That's always our goal. Try to make Russ turn red. Russ landed this listing. It's a beautiful house, so I'd love for you to start by just telling us about this fabulous family home that we have for sale.
Yeah, as John said, it is a fabulous family home. If you've looked around a little bit, it's a craftsman style. They have staged it and redone it recently in sort of a beach style format, so it's very casual and comfortable. As you can tell, I think people will enjoy it when they walk in and see it. It's 4,995 square feet. It's got 6 bedrooms, 5.5 bathrooms. And we're going to go on the market probably Thursday. We haven't priced it completely yet because the sellers are not completely sure. So I'm going to send out an email later, and I want to get you guys to give me a price that you think it will sell at. And whoever gets closest when it finally sells gets a gift card, American Express gift card. So I'll send it out later. I'd love your opinion on it, and we'll set that price probably tomorrow, and then it'll go active on Thursday. So take a look around and enjoy.
Is that a gift card for sidecar?
Yeah, you wish.
Yeah.
You can use it for that.
Well, while I have Russ standing up here talking in front of you, no, but you will be soon. I want to talk to you about your farming. Okay. I know for a fact that you've chosen this neighborhood, Newport Heights,
Right.
as your farm.
Right.
And so I just wanted to, I got like a dozen questions here. I just wanted to ask you,
It does.
what does farming mean to you?
I think that it means cultivating. It means planting seeds. It means watching them germinate and grow in the sense of the word farm, but also in a neighborhood. It's meeting people. It's gaining momentum. It's being present. It's nurturing and watering, and hopefully with the intent of having a harvest that isn't immediate, but it does happen over time and long term.
For those of you who didn't grow up in Oklahoma, looking at a two-acre garden and plowing alfalfa fields, a lot of you who've grown up on concrete don't know the first thing about farming or planting anything. A lot of the parables that are used, are kind of outdated now. But, one thing I learned as a small boy, you could take a little package of seeds and have a huge crop, right? And so when we say farming, that's what we're talking about, is planting little seeds and then watching them grow and being able to harvest and cultivate throughout the seasons.
We actually didn't discuss that before this.
Oh,
No, seriously.
so would you consider yourself a farmer?
Yeah, definitely.
And why is that? What qualifies you, besides your overalls?
Yeah, my boss, yeah. Well, I guess because I've been doing that for 2 years, my first listing in this neighborhood was almost 2 years ago today. And since then, I've made a strong effort to try and be present in this area, to be seen in this area. I was working out just last week, and this woman runs up and she goes, "You're the guy with his face on the sign on Riverside." It was at least good to know that somebody saw that and noticed that.
You were working out at the ladies' gym?
Well, there are things like that.
Yeah.
So, just trying to be as present in this neighborhood, and I live relatively close to this neighborhood and be here often. in the last 2 years, I've had 7 listing sales here, 3 buyer sales, 3 leases, and then 1 referral from a client, and which is my Rancho Santa Fe property. That was a referral from a client in this neighborhood. So,
That's pretty good.
yeah.
It's not as good as I did, but that's pretty good.
I got something to shoot for then.
So what is your farm?
Well, in general terms, it's Newport Heights, and then I also do Irvine Terrace in Corona Del Mar because I've had traction in that farm. Prior to 2 years ago, I had a little trouble getting started, that I tried North Laguna, and Scott was awesome. He gave me my first open house in North Laguna, and then I went to Eastside Costa Mesa, but then I finally landed in Newport Heights, and then added Irvine Terrace at a later date. So it doesn't happen maybe on your first farm. Maybe you have to try a couple, but once you land there, it's
Not my advice, by the way.
Oh, I know.
Right. No, so you were doing what a lot of agents do. You're
Yeah.
kind of bouncing around.
Yeah.
And then when you look back, well, all those months you're bouncing around, they were not
Waste of time.
invested.
Yeah.
They were not invested here.
Yeah.
And so you could have gotten further along.
Absolutely.
You might have had 14 sales in Newport Heights had you
Right.
just been focused here, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So you told us what the results of your farming is. If I ask you, what techniques are working for you and what is not working for you?
It's 3 things: open houses, open houses, open houses.
That was my foundation.
Yeah, seriously. Even this listing, John was gracious enough to take me on the listing appointment with him for this. And when I walked in, I thought, I've met these people before, but I couldn't really place it. And so they were considering multiple agents. And so when they finally called us to tell us that they had chosen us, one of the things he said was a factor was that they had met me at a couple of open houses over the last couple of years, and they had liked the way I had handled it. So, but we didn't know that ahead of time, nor did John know that when he picked me to come with him on this.
And I introduced you as what?
Your neighborhood expert here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So guys, when you have something physically wrong with you, when you think about hiring a doctor, if you need brain surgery, what type of doctor do you call?
Brain
Brain
specialist.
specialist, right? I mean, if there's something wrong with you. Now, do you think a brain specialist makes more than a general practitioner?
Absolutely.
Do you think he's more in demand? Do you think he's filling a niche more than a general practitioner? Right? A general practitioner has to appeal to the masses, right? So Russ is now marketing himself, positioning himself as the brain surgeon of Newport Heights. And I really encourage you all to become a specialist, right? Olga's a specialist of Lido Wild. Everybody knows that now, because you've been doing open houses down there for just
4 years.
consistently.
4
Yeah.
years, yeah.
And you're really reaping the rewards. So I'm getting a little off subject here,
Yeah.
but I'm the boss, so it's okay. Let's see.
Working, what's not working?
Listen, let me go. I gotta put my glasses on. You told us the results. You told us some things that are working.
Right.
What are some things you think aren't working for you?
I think I've done and tried about every method of marketing you can do. I'd say I've done a lot of postcards, and I'd say that hasn't been as fruitful as I would hope it would have been. So I've switched over to a market analysis. I've talked to people when they come into my office, and I say, what do you actually look at if it comes in the mail? And they say, well, we throw postcards away, but if there's data about my neighborhood, I will look at that. So I still do postcards on a just listed and a just sold, but I don't spend much more than that on postcards.
Now, you were recently introduced to the new technology on Explore Neighborhoods on
Right.
the Agent Inc. site.
Mhm.
And have you begun to use the merchant network to build out a referral?
I've looked at it, didn't start it, but I haven't gotten very far with that just yet.
Okay, so you haven't implemented that yet.
Right.
Do you plan on it?
Don't blow this one.
Now you're red.
Yeah, I think you got him on that one.
Now you're
Yeah, that's the-
So are you hashtagging your farm now?
Yeah, absolutely.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the things I do have is I have a Facebook page called Newport Heights Neighborhood, and I have a Facebook page called Corona Del Mar Real Estate that focuses on my farms.
Okay.
So I do
thought of, or do you plan on creating any hashtag photo contests for your farm?
I haven't thought about that.
Do you plan on it?
I don't plan to think about that.
Maybe that's all the ideas.
So have you done any Facebook ads?
Yes, lots and lots of Facebook ads.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Digital marketing is probably the most efficient way
Mhm.
to build your presence in a neighborhood,
Right.
by
I-
far.
I have a neighborhood for this and one for Corona Mars already set up, so it makes it super easy to just select the post, hit that neighborhood, hit $30 or $40, and
Very inexpensive,
Yeah.
right? Okay. And when you do that, what type of ad are you using? Is it a video, or is it an ad that Valerie created for you? How are you doing that?
Well, most of the things I do, Valerie creates for me, so it's probably that. But
Okay.
I will typically promote things that are getting traction just organically.
Okay.
If I see that they're getting responded to, then I'll promote those.
Have you organized a charity drive?
I have not done that. The neighborhood drive that I did do and was a
Similar.
paper shredding.
Paper shredding.
Yeah. So hired a paper shred truck, took it to the local junior high school, marketed that, and had people come and drop off their shred documents, and did it in conjunction with an open house that was 2 doors down.
Do you do open houses religiously? In other words,
Yes.
do you spend your week trying to figure out where and you can be inside your neighborhood on the weekend?
Absolutely. I mean, if I've got a home in my farm, especially, I mean, I'll be there every Saturday and every Sunday. I have a place right now that's not in my farm, and I do share that with my team, but I want to be there as much as I can, especially with my farm. When I first started, there weren't always places for me to hold open in my farm because I didn't have listings.
Right.
So I would call up every agent in my farm neighborhood who had a listing, whether in my brokerage or not, and call them and ask if I could hold their open house open either during the week or on the weekend. If it's a vacant home, a lot of times they'll let you hold it open during the week. So
You were very persistent.
I was very
And I've noticed that about you, and I commend you for that. Open houses are clearly your strength.
I enjoy them, actually.
So how do you get people to sign in?
You know, I think there are multiple different ways of doing that, and I think you have to play with that a little bit to find out what works well for you, but there's 3 good reasons to do that. You want to do it for security reasons for yourself. You also,
I always blame it on the seller.
yeah. you
The
play with
seller
the
has requested that everyone sign in, right?
Right.
How do you say no to that?
Yeah.
Right.
Plus, you want to have the data so you can put it in your own CRM so you can follow up with them later.
Yeah.
And then thirdly, if for some unfortunate reason the listing expires or cancels, you want to be able to have that data to give it to the seller so you get paid should those people come back. So there's a few reasons for doing that, but I've used paper sign-in, I've used iPad sign-ins, I've sent out mailings afterwards asking for feedback, multiple different ways. So,
What's working best for you, iPad or is it paper?
well, honestly, what works best for me right now is I have the issue of I'll meet someone at the door, say, hi, I'm Russ, they'll give me their name, and 3 seconds later, I forgot their name. Yeah. So I keep a pad in my hand, I have my own personalized notepads, and as soon as they say their name, they'll typically turn around to look at the house, and I'll write down their names on the pad. And then as I'm walking through the house, as they give me information like, where they live, now I'll write all that down too. And so by the time they're ready to leave, I'll say, do you mind if I get your email address so I can keep you up to date on this house? And by then they'll say, oh yeah, that's great, and they'll usually give it to me at that
So
point.
that works for you.
That works for me. And that way, I want to build rapport with them, and sometimes I feel like if I say you have to sign in,
Yeah.
that I break rapport almost immediately if they're not wanting to.
That's
do
why I
that.
blame it on the seller.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Look, everyone has a different style, everyone has a different skill set, everyone has a different personality. If that's working for you, that's fabulous. You kind of touched on this a little bit earlier. Do you think most residents in Newport Heights recognize your face?
Many do. I can't say most, but many do. I'll run into people a lot, even at the grocery store, say, I get your market update. That kind of thing, yeah.
Good. So have you purchased emails and cell phone numbers in your farm?
Yes,
You have.
absolutely.
Where did you get them?
I got them from Title with some of them, and I got them from Agent Mortgage, most of them.
Okay.
Yeah,
So Agent
bought them
Mortgage
through
helped you with that. And then what did you do with them?
We took and I recorded a voice message, and then they pushed it out to all the voicemails with a no ring situation. As I say, no ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, so silent, where it shows up in the voicemail without the phone ringing.
Got it.
Yeah,
And then do you have a drip campaign going through your
absolutely.
CRM?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you loaded that into your iExact CRM?
Yeah, yeah.
And you started a drip campaign?
Yeah, so yeah, I've got 3,000 people in my database.
Raise your hands if you have a drip campaign going. Wow, more than I thought. Okay, we've got probably 20 people with drip campaigns. That's actually very good news. So do you feel more financially secure having a farm?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Tell us why.
I think there's the opportunity for consistent business rather than a random business. When it's random, you don't know where the next thing's coming from. You feel a little insecure.
Right.
And I will take business anywhere, especially if it comes from a current client, but I know that I'm gonna put my marketing dollars into this area, and hopefully that creates a consistent response that makes it a little more comfortable.
Sure, sure. Now, if you have outside business,
Mhm.
do you try to schedule it so that you could be here on the weekends?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what, in 2019, what are you gonna do to strengthen your presence in this farm?
I'm probably going to do more of what I'm currently doing, just more abundantly and more consistently. I'd like to have more listings in my farm and more open houses in my farm. I think that's a key factor.
Would it benefit you to drop Irvine Terrace? I think it would.
There you go.
But I'm not,
Yeah.
I don't pay you a salary, so
Right.
you have to make these decisions.
Right. That's a hard one because I've had somewhat equal results in both areas, but as far as the quantity of homes, it's too many for a farm, for sure. Yeah, so,
But if you're doing an open house there,
Mhm.
you're not doing it here,
Right.
right? It's almost like a brain surgeon saying, I'm gonna do heart surgery this weekend instead of brain surgery, and so then after a while, people are like, well, who are you?
Right.
Because I haven't seen you doing brain surgery lately.
Right.
And you kind of lose your momentum, right?
I think you can. My goal would be to have 3 or 4 houses that are open every weekend, which obviously I wouldn't be able to do all those anyway. I'd love to be able to pass those along to my team members and give them more opportunities for open houses.
So you touched on a strategy. So how do your team members help you with crossover within your farms on open house days?
I don't know that they do at this point. I think because I've had no more than 1 or 2 listings in my farm at any one particular time.
Yeah.
So I've tended to do those myself. When I've had things outside, like we have a listing in Irvine, I pass that completely to my team for open houses at this point so that I can now concentrate on this house, which is in my farm.
Yeah. But let's just say
Yeah.
this farm is trending for you
Yeah.
better than Irvine Terrace. So wouldn't you always take the open house here
Yeah.
and put one of your team members in, Rancho Santa Fe, wherever you have
Yeah.
other listings, let them be present there,
Absolutely.
right? So you can build your brand and become
For sure.
more and more successful.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you get to 12 listings?
Yes.
That didn't look very confident.
Do it again, do it again. Do it again.
I'm confident in the yes. I'm not confident in the time frame or the.
Do you want to get to 12?
Oh, yeah.
Do you?
Sure.
Can you sell 3 houses a month?
I can. But I want to learn from you how to do that.
Well, that's okay. Part of what we're doing here.
Okay.
Good morning, Sis is in the house. She snuck in.
I haven't reached that level yet, so I'm hoping to learn that.
Can you accomplish that goal efficiently without spending a lot of money?
I'll find out. Yeah, I guess I'd have to understand that amount of money, what that takes. And, I have a certain budget that I spend now, and if I certainly have more revenue coming in, I'll spend more.
Is it a percentage? Is
No.
your budget a percentage of your income?
No, it isn't at this point.
Nothing fixed, nothing structured?
No, I mean, just early on, I was probably spending $2,000 to $3,000 a month.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
yeah, and so I'd say at this point, it's probably more like 1,500.
Okay. Yeah. And would you say more of that is digital than print?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, and I think most of that reason is because I've learned that my best source of leads is open houses and sphere of influence, which really is free.
Yeah.
So I've kind of stopped doing all the one-off things just to see what happens, and then concentrate more on the things that have actually produced results.
Well, let's give Russ a, you know, in my opinion, you're doing what it takes to become a successful agent. And over time, I think we'll watch you have a significant business in Newport Heights. I'm proud of you. And, you know, do you have any advice that you want to give your fellow agents who want to be like you when we grow up?
I mean, find a farm that you love being in, and concentrate on spending time there, getting to know the people, getting to socialize there. I'm actually going to a birthday party this Saturday night for a client in this neighborhood who I've gotten to know. So, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great. Okay, Scott, do you have anything to add today?
I think we kind of covered. I was going to jump in on farming. This is a conversation that we're going to have ongoing because it is real. This is the opportunity, and I heard one of the big business coaches out there just talking recently about your niche. If you don't have a niche, you're not standing out, and farming is it. So I'm so excited that this is going to be our focus. It might be 40 days. It turns into all year and beyond as far as doing this right. But the fact is, our industry does it wrong. And then you have all the chatter out there, all the inter-office terrorists talking about how this doesn't work for me, and farming doesn't work, and this business doesn't work, and they're doing it wrong. And so the way you not do it wrong
Nothing
is
works if you give up in 2 minutes.
you learn from the people that have killed it doing that. And we have that expertise right here. So keep showing up and keep focusing on how you're going to take it and apply it. And farming is the gift that keeps on giving. So I just couldn't be more excited about this topic. And then this is going to be a topic for quite a while.
Well, we believe in what works. But I have a big announcement today. We're blessed today with a new face within our group. His name is Bob Lefevre. And Bob is joining today as an executive, as a principal. And I just couldn't be more excited to welcome Bob here. He's played a role in my career. I think he's bought me 3 times through acquisitions at Coldwell Banker and Coast Newport Properties. But he's had probably one of the biggest careers in residential real estate. Worked with Compass and Douglas Elliman and First Team and many years with Coldwell Banker. But anyway, I won't steal your thunder. Come up and say hello, Bob. And share more about
The conversation about farming was dear to my heart. I used to be an FBI agent in the 70s, and I bought a house.
Be careful, guys.
Yeah, I bought a house, and the broker and I became very good friends. And one night we were having dinner, and he said to me, "How much money you make?" And I told him. He goes, "You got to be kidding me." He said, "You make a fortune in this business with your personality and who you know and all that." And my first reaction was, "Moi in real estate?" I didn't see the connection. The more he talked to me, I jumped in the pool and started swimming and did really, really well right off the bat because of the work ethic that I was taught in the FBI. See, we farm. People have a hard time believing that. But when we were looking for Scott, that's how Scott and I met. But we would just walk neighborhoods. We'd park a car at the end of the street and we'd talk to 30, 40 people. And so when I got into real estate, it was just, oh, I could do that. It was no problem at all.
Much more reward.
Yes. I've watched this man over the last several years. I've been blessed to do a lot of things in this business. had some very, very interesting clients. I've been consulting for about the last 15 years. And Wayne Gretzky was a famous hockey player, if you ever heard of him
Yep.
or not. I'm not a hockey fan, but I certainly heard of him, and I heard him speak once. He has a very interesting quote that's been in many books. And the quote was, "The reason I was so successful in hockey is I never went to where the puck was. I went to where I thought the puck was going." Interesting comment. I know where this puck is going. And conversations we've had.
I think you should present that, huh?
I think so. We could use that. We could use that. But I see the big picture of what Ancient Ink is going to become, nationally, internationally, and it's really, really exciting, and I'm very humbled to be a part of it. And I look forward to working with all of you, and we got some big plans, and it's going to really, really be exciting. This business has changed so much in the last 10 years, it'd make your head spin. The business was stuck for a long time, just lethargic, and these corporate companies running all these real estate companies, and no creativity, no vision of what could be, and this is going to be, without a doubt, with these two gentlemen, one of the most successful stories in the real estate history of this country. And it is going to go international. It's going to be great for all of you, and it's really, really exciting. Barbara and I know each other for
30-some years?
yeah, I think 30-something years. And we've been a part of corporations, Prudential, Coldwell Banker, all this stuff. And I left Coldwell Banker about 15 years ago because I just couldn't handle the corporate structure anymore. So I just went out on my own and started doing consulting work, and have had some real interesting clients. So I'm here because of what's been presented to me and the reputation these two gentlemen have. Scott and I worked very closely together for several years at Coldwell Banker. And I remember the day we hired them, like it was yesterday. John and I met when we bought Coast Newport. And I remember saying to Danny Bitt, I gotta meet this dude. These signs all over the place, these expensive properties and what have you. And so the credibility is here to build this. You just don't do this without really knowing what you're doing. And that's one of the reasons I'm really, really excited to be here. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a great ride. There's no doubt about it.
We're excited to have you with
Well,
us.
I'm humbled and excited to be here. It's gonna be fun.
Great. You know, it's all about the right people. And when I look at our executive team, and super thrilled to have Bob join us, our broker, our marketing department, the talent we have, and then I look at our agents. I look at each of you. It's so humbling and so exciting that, guys, we're gonna tear it up, and it's gonna blow up, and we're gonna have lots of fun this year. So thank you. I'm very humbled to have all of you with us, and you're going to enjoy a great ride and have a lot of success. And so anyway, thank you. Let's get back to taking some personal photos, right?
Okay.
Amy's back there waiting to market you.
And if you have something we all need to hear about, here's your time to jump in. Pocket listing, need, let's network, and then we'll wrap up.
Let's hear your pitch.
One quick thing, this TV commercial we're gonna do today, 11:30, was moved to Thursday due to the weather, so we can stay longer.
Oh, great.
Now you tell us.
Yeah.
Almost found out. So, and also, I have a new listing in Rancho Santa Fe at 16161 Puerto del Sol. Beautiful listing. If you know of anybody, we'd love to hear about it. Also, we'll be doing a broker preview there next Tuesday from today from 1 to 4.
Auction.com. Concierge auction.
But if you can make it, it'll be 1 to 4. I'll serve lunch there, and anybody who brings at least 2 people with them, you get $20 for gas. So, I'd love to have you down there.
Very nice.
Barbara.
I just want to say, welcome, Bob. It's just such a pleasure knowing you for over 30 years. And I think what a lot of people here don't know about having Bob Lefevre on board is that he has such stature in the real estate industry that this is going to just catapult Agent Inc. I mean, it's beyond exciting. When
Street
I heard,
cred.
when I heard what?
Street cred. Yeah.
When I heard you were coming on board, I said, this is just such validation of John, what you and Scott are doing. And
And
we
so are
all.
you, by the way.
Pardon?
So are you. by the
Oh,
way.
thank you.
Really, no.
But it's really terrific, and this company is gonna grow like crazy, so tell your friends before they get left behind to come on board.
That would be tomorrow night at 4 o'clock. Don't embarrass me, it's the first time John's not here. I don't wanna be standing up there going, where is everybody? So, with Bob, he's wrapping up, some commitments right now, so we are not going to do any PR, anything formally as far as announcing Bob, other than he's with us and consulting with us, and so, we're gonna let some things wrap up, and, we are so excited.
thrilled to have
There is nothing like the talent of the people
Oh my
you get
God,
together.
it is so exciting.
There is nothing, and if you've coached with me at all, I mean, I beat into everybody this one idea and this one principle has impacted my life and my business far more than any other. And it's an old proverb. And it says, if you walk with wise people, you will become wise. And there is no substitute for that. There is none. By the way, that's only the first half of the proverb. The second half is the depressing side. And it says, and the companion of fools suffers harm. So, you know, yeah. So if you're a parent, you have that conversation with your kids umpteen times. You know, who are you hanging with? Because where they're going, that's where you're going. And what they're becoming like, that's what you're becoming like. And so I just covet this, you know, and this, and the talent that we have, and the culture that we're developing, and the standards that we hold to, you know, and you know, that is magic, and it's power, and it's the right way to do things, and it's the right way to treat people, and so, hey, why not us? Here we go.
Woo-hoo.
Is that it?
Don't forget to see Amy.
Good morning. I would like to introduce Leila Hamidani to the team. I'm very proud that she has decided to join us. She's a very successful, beautiful lady, and thank you. Thank you. Welcome.
Welcome.
What a dynamic duo, the two of you.
I have two people to introduce also. You never know when you can find awesome agents, and there's two people I'd love to tell you guys about today. One is standing right here. Her name is Patty Pearson. She lives up in Arcadia. I met her at a mutual friend's birthday party and found out she was with another brokerage up in Arcadia. We immediately connected. She's amazing, and here we are. So she's going to start agenting kind of up in that Pasadena, San Marino, Arcadia area, and she's the real deal. So if you guys have any help you need up there, I'm letting her know. And where is Nikki? Nikki, where are you? Come here.
I love the post, Nikki.
What's so funny about Nikki is I brought Nikki on, and so many people have said, wait, I know her. And the reason you know her is because she's awesome on Instagram, and I found her, and you guys didn't, because I recruited her from Instagram. It's nb.realtor, and she posts realtor.nb, Nikki Byron, and she posts awesome videos. So Nikki lives in Lake Forest. She is a Division I softball player. She's came from another agency as well, same as Patty, and they're both new. So welcome them. And yay.
Any other introductions that we have failed to make? This would be a great opportunity for us to celebrate you being part of the group, and so don't want anybody left behind.
Siobhan?
Morgan's just checking us out right now. I met her dad actually up in this neighborhood, and we connected, and he's like, I want her to check out what you guys have going on. So we met last week, and yeah, she's
Thanks for
on her
visiting.
way in.
Thank you.
Great to have you here.